Have you ever wondered, can just one cup of coffee each morning really raise your blood pressure? Today, we'll listen to the story of Frank, a 67-year-old man who's loved coffee for decades, as we explore the fine line between a comforting daily habit and a quiet risk to heart health.
My name's Frank. I'm 67 years old. I've been retired for nearly 2 years now, living with my wife in a small town just outside Oregon. Every morning, like clockwork, I wake up at 7 a.m., make myself a hot cup of coffee, and sit on the porch listening to the birds. Honestly, that's my favorite moment of the day. To be fair, coffee's been a part of my life for decades. Back when I was working, I couldn't start the day without 2 cups. Had to stay sharp for those long drives. Now that I'm retired, I drink a bit less, but I still need one in the morning and usually another in the afternoon. But lately, something's been bugging me. I went in for a regular checkup, and my doctor told me my blood pressure's a little high. Not dangerously so, but enough to keep an eye on it. He suggested I take a closer look at my diet, especially my caffeine intake. Since then, I've been in a bit of a dilemma. Do I really have to give up coffee? Mornings without it feel dull and sluggish. I get cranky, but I also don't want to make my blood pressure worse. Thing is, you hear all sorts of opinions. Some folks say coffee's good for your heart. Others swear it raises your blood pressure. Every article says something different, and honestly, I'm just confused. So please, can someone give me a straight answer? Is coffee a friend or a foe for folks my age?
Hi, Frank. First of all, I want to say that your concerns are completely valid and quite common. Many older adults come to me asking the same question. I drink coffee every day. Could that be hurting my blood pressure? The short answer is, caffeine can raise blood pressure, but how much it affects you depends on how your individual body reacts to it. And to really understand this, we need to take a quick look at how caffeine works in the body. How does caffeine work inside your body? When you drink coffee, or any beverage containing caffeine like black tea, soda, or energy drinks, the caffeine quickly enters your bloodstream and stimulates your central nervous system. It works by blocking a chemical called adenosine, which normally helps your blood vessels relax and makes you feel sleepy. When adenosine is blocked, your blood vessels constrict, your heart rate increases, and you feel more alert. But this also means your blood pressure can temporarily rise, usually within 30 minutes to an hour after drinking coffee. For some people, the spike is mild and short-lived. But for those who are sensitive to caffeine, especially older adults, the increase may be more noticeable and last longer. Why are older adults more sensitive? As we age, our metabolism slows down, so caffeine stays in the body longer. Plus, our blood vessels and cardiovascular system become more sensitive to stimulants. And many people over 60 are already taking blood pressure meds, heart medications, or diuretics, and caffeine can lightly interact with these, amplifying stimulant effects or affecting heart rhythm. What do studies say? Research has shown that a standard cup of coffee, around 100-120 mg of caffeine, can raise blood pressure by 5-10 mmHg in people who don't drink caffeine regularly. In habitual coffee drinkers, the body often adapts, and this spike becomes smaller over time. However, drinking more than 3 to 4 cups a day is associated with a higher risk of long-term elevated blood pressure. The American Heart Association recommends older adults limit caffeine intake to 200-300 mg per day, which is roughly 1 to 2 cups of coffee. To summarize this section, Frank, caffeine isn't the enemy, but it is a substance that affects your system, especially your heart and blood pressure as you age. If you're someone who's sensitive to it, even 1 small cup might raise your blood pressure for several hours. But don't worry, you don't have to give up your morning coffee. We can still enjoy it if we learn to listen to our body's response and adjust our habits wisely. Now that we understand how caffeine works in the body, let's talk about the real question on Frank's mind, and one that many others his age are wondering too. Does drinking coffee every day actually cause chronic high blood pressure? Caffeine and long-term blood pressure. It's complicated. The answer isn't always a simple yes or no. The long-term impact of caffeine on blood pressure depends on several individual factors: your genetics, how much caffeine you consume, what time of day you drink it, your sleep quality, and any underlying health conditions. That said, one thing is clear. If you consume too much caffeine daily for a long time without monitoring your blood pressure, the risk of developing sustained high blood pressure is real. What do long-term studies say? Some large studies, like the Framingham Heart Study, have found that people who drink more than 3-4 cups of coffee a day have a 14 to 20% higher risk of developing high blood pressure, especially if they lack proper rest or experience poor sleep. However, those who drink just 1 to 2 cups in the morning, sleep well, and have no underlying heart issues often experience little to no long-term impact. In fact, some research even suggests heart protective benefits from coffee due to antioxidants in the beans, but these benefits appear mostly when coffee is consumed in moderation. Indirect effects: sleep loss, anxiety, and stress. This is often overlooked but extremely important. Many older adults don't develop high blood pressure directly from caffeine, but from its side effects on sleep. When sleep suffers, your body releases more stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline, which silently raise blood pressure, quicken your heartbeat, and cause fatigue and headaches. Over time, this chronic stress response can cause blood pressure to stay elevated, even if you stop drinking coffee. Caffeine can also cause palpitations or feelings of anxiety, which, especially in older adults, can lead to more worry and even temporary heart rhythm disturbances or stress-induced spikes in blood pressure. Everyone reacts differently. Know your own body. Some people at 75 can drink 2 cups of coffee daily with stable blood pressure. Others might feel their face flush, heart race, and pressure spike after just a few sips. The key is, your body will tell you if you're willing to listen. The simplest way? Try checking your blood pressure before and about 30 to 60 minutes after coffee, and track the results for at least a week. If your readings stay stable, no worries. If you see unexpected spikes, then it's time to adjust. To summarize this section, Frank, coffee doesn't always lead to chronic high blood pressure, but it can, especially if you drink too much daily. You drink late in the day. You're not sleeping well or feeling stressed. You're on heart or blood pressure medications. In those cases, caffeine could quietly become a stealthy trigger for rising blood pressure. But if you enjoy your coffee in moderation, know your body, and sleep well, that morning, cup can still be a safe companion in your daily routine. Frank, I completely understand how you feel. That morning cup of coffee isn't just a drink, it's a part of your routine, a peaceful moment you've cherished for years. So instead of saying, give up coffee, I'd rather say, let coffee remain your friend, just in a way that suits your age and health today. 1. Start by tracking your personal reaction. There's no one-size-fits-all answer. The first step is understanding how your body responds to caffeine. Here's a simple method. Use a home blood pressure monitor. Measure your BP before drinking coffee, then again 30 minutes and 1 hour after. Do this for 3 to 5 consecutive days. If your BP only rises slightly, around 5 mmHg, and returns to normal, or doesn't rise at all, your morning coffee is likely harmless. But if it jumps significantly, over 10-15 mmHg, especially with palpitations or anxiety, it's time to consider changes. 2. Limit daily caffeine intake. Heart health experts recommend that older adults keep caffeine below 200 and 300 mg per day, which equals 1 to 2 regular-sized cups of coffee, 8 Oz, or 1 coffee plus 1 cup of tea. Tea has less caffeine. More importantly, space out your intake wisely. Finish coffee before 2 p.m. to avoid sleep disruption. Avoid drinking close to meals if you're on blood pressure medication. Caffeine can reduce how well some meds absorb. 3. Choose smarter coffee options. Not all coffee is created equal. If you want to lower caffeine without losing the flavor, try decaf coffee. It tastes very similar but has almost zero caffeine. Choose light roast beans, which often contain less caffeine than dark roasts. When brewing at home, use low caffeine grounds and make your coffee more diluted than usual. 4. Prioritize sleep and relaxation. One of caffeine's most overlooked side effects is its impact on sleep, and poor sleep can silently raise blood pressure. So if you're frequently struggling to sleep waking up at night, or feeling tired in the morning, revisit your caffeine habits. Even cutting that afternoon cup in half or switching to chamomile tea or warm lemon honey water could improve your sleep quality. 5. Don't forget mental well-being. Many people blame coffee, but in reality, stress, anxiety, and poor rest are often the real reasons behind blood pressure swings. So alongside caffeine adjustments, it helps to take a short daily walk. Listen to calming music. Practice deep breathing each morning. These little actions can turn coffee back into a pleasant friend, not a health concern. To sum up the solutions. Dear Frank, your morning coffee doesn't have to disappear from your life, as long as it's enjoyed mindfully and in moderation. Track how your body responds, adjust your dose and timing, prioritize sleep, and nurture your peace of mind. Do that, and your blood pressure, your heart, and your spirit will all thank you. Dear Frank, and to everyone watching this video, we've just walked through a very familiar story. A morning cup of coffee, something so ordinary, can suddenly become a concern when the doctor says, your blood pressure is a bit high. But as we've explored, caffeine is not the enemy. It only becomes a problem when we overdo it, drink it at the wrong times, neglect our health monitoring, or ignore the subtle messages our body sends us every day. Let's take a moment to remember these 3 key takeaways. Caffeine can raise blood pressure temporarily, especially in those who are sensitive or older adults. Its long-term effects depend on how much you drink, when you drink it, your sleep quality, and your emotional well-being. Most importantly, you can enjoy coffee daily if you learn to manage it and truly listen to your body. Here's one practical tip to try tomorrow. Take your blood pressure before and after drinking coffee and see how your body responds. And if everything looks good, then by all means, savor that morning cup with a calm mind and a peaceful heart. Because sometimes inner peace does more to stabilize blood pressure than any medicine ever could. What about you? Do you drink coffee every day? Have you ever noticed how your blood pressure responds after that morning cup? If you have questions, concerns, or simply want to share your own story about coffee and blood pressure, feel free to leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel so we can continue having these heart-to-heart conversations about health, aging, and all the little things in life that truly matter.